In today's Simple Sense for Small Business, we discuss how personal relationships can affect your business. Is it an interruption or an interference with you trying to run your business when conflict arises, and how to manage keeping your life partner or your spouse up to date with how things are going, whether you're celebrating successes or averting crises. Also, the audio is a bit off because it sounds like we're in the car, but we're actually out at a restaurant. We were merely making an audio note to just kind of flush out the topic and ended up chatting for 10 minutes. Thus, the podcast was born.
And again, I'm Trevor, and this gal here is
Linda Ray.
And we thank you for tuning into today's show.
They're an emotional investor. And you know, it's interesting because you and I, when we first started our little practice, I remember talking to a neighbor and I said, yeah, I can come over. Trevor and I just finished our family meeting. She's like, family meeting? Because it's the two of us, right?
Well, it's just the two of us. We don't have any pets, no goldfish, and not even, I think we have one plastic plant.
But I said, yeah, we have meetings about the household on top of meetings for the business. And she was like, oh, that's so smart.
This is Simple Sense about relationships.
Oh, we're going to do it right now?
No, not going to do it right now. But
I think we should.
I know, because you're having wine, and I just had a whiskey.
I ate bread like I'm going to the chair.
This is not going to be the podcast. So you're going to start a business. You need to step back and examine your life and look at your relationships, especially if you're in a committed relationship.
Domestic partnership, kind of marriage.
Whatever. He owe me a beer officially. And say, what level of commitment does this person have to me starting this business? Are they willing to go through the really hard times of the first 3 to 5 years?
Years, yes. It's really vital that you're bringing this up because even just with you and me, with our business, sometimes I forget to tell you. I don't know if it's...
Oh, stop. You're amazing in our business. You're the most amazing partner in everything.
No.
No, seriously.
Okay,
everything except you're not allowed to sing with my band.
That's true.
There's no singing. I don't even let her sing in the kitchen, for Christ's sake.
That's so true. But what I'm saying is that when there's so much minutia that happens on a daily basis, and sometimes I forget that through osmosis, will you not know what is something important that you should know about that could rear its ugly head later?
You're talking about, when you say you mean me or
you?
Yeah,
you
me.
As in Trevor. And then you're like, you didn't tell me that. It's like, I know, I forgot. Like, you know.
Like the new employee who's really taking off for her birthday, but you told me it was a doctor's appointment.
I really did think it was a doctor's appointment because she gave me like 5 dates she was going to. Anyway, that's not what this is about.
That's a whole other podcast.
This is what I'm saying. If you go into a business and you actually don't discuss with your life partner what you intend to do with this business and why you're going into business and how it's going to affect the two of you. And what your
expectations of your relationship is going to be for 3 to 5 years.
The reason we were bringing this up is because
we've both been there.
You know, I had someone who I worked with for 15 years. Her husband really limited her in how she would execute the functions of the business, in how she were to conduct her business. She couldn't do this and she couldn't go there, and no one could come here, and no one could,
Right. Well, this is the person actually who inspired this podcast, because she is somebody who Linda has used her services for almost 2 decades and now doesn't anymore. And there's a multiple number of reasons, but one of those multiple reasons is the spouse of this person, who has made her doing her business nearly impossible at every turn.
Right, and it got to a point now where she said, I can't even come to your house anymore. You know, it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But, we're all done.
We're recording a podcast right now. Do you want to...
The bread was so good, like I'm going to have a salad.
Linda's going to edit everything out except the part where you say, are you guys done with this? For my part, I kind of came at this idea because, I love watching detective shows and cop shows. And, there's always the scene where the partner or the spouse of the committed police officer, the committed detective, just doesn't understand. Why can't you just come home? Why are you obsessed with this? Now, I don't know if that goes on in real life, but in my previous life, I've had situations with people who just didn't understand how pretty awesome I was, that I could go out, work like a mad dog, and make pretty decent money having come from nothing. And they just couldn't honor that and respect it, and they put their own boundaries on me. So that's what we're talking about.
Well, it's boundaries, isn't it? It's business boundaries and in conjunction with your personal relationship boundaries. And I think the thing that's really the tough question is, all right, and I'd love to hear what you have to say on this, is whether or not you bring it up in advance, they're going to have a feeling about it. And if it's something that is going to preclude you, how do you go about it? Because it's one thing if you they say it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission.
Yes.
But so if you don't bring up with the spouse some of the challenging aspects of running a business that will affect the personal relationship,
When you say challenging aspect, you mean things like, hey, honey, we're broke. We can't pay for the utility bills this month, or buy groceries
it's going to
today.
take me 3 years to show a profit or to take a salary or my time. I'm going to work till 9 o'clock at night because
7 days
that's
a
when
week.
my clients are available, kind of thing.
And in your mind, you as the business entrepreneur, the business owner, the person developing business, you're thinking, why can't my partner just believe in me the way I believe in myself?
It's the trust issue, which is really tough. But like I was saying, if you ask for forgiveness versus permission, if you forget to share with them some of the nuances of your business, it's going to come up one way or another. So the determining factor is how open is your partner to allow you the freedom and flexibility to exercise your opportunistic entrepreneurial spirit.
I'm a little at a loss for words because there's a really cool song playing in the stereo over our heads here at the restaurant while we're recording this. Let's talk about our wealth and wellness segment of our show today. Here's what I want you folks to think about. If you have not yet started and you're thinking of starting, or somebody's calling for takeout,
Or to make a reservation.
Okay, if you are a budding entrepreneur, business owner, you're thinking of starting a business, have you stepped back to examine your partner and their commitment to you?
And your commitment to the business and the time commitment to the business.
And the tough times ahead, because there will be more tough than not. So that's my first question for you. Have you done that? And if not, will you do it? Do you have the courage to do it?
Courageous conversations, another favorite topic.
And the second part of my suggestion or question to you is, well, it's more a suggestion than a question, because going back to what Linda just said about checking in and talking about things, I think you should create a regular schedule. When I say schedule, you need to update your partner on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Pretend your partner is an investor in your business, a shareholder in your corporation.
They are an emotional investor.
Create a schedule in your mind and have regular meetings with your emotional investor, your partner, and determine and keep that partner's commitment alive. Keep them updated. And when times are bad, don't hide it from them. And when times are good, don't overblow how good times are.
In a regular business with partners or employees and staff and management and so on, you should be having regular meetings, whether they're weekly, whether you stand up and for 10 minutes kind of thing, have a meeting so everyone's updated with what's going on. I think that should be with your emotional investor, where you're sharing successes, you're also sharing challenges. Celebrating successes is how you manage overcoming the challenges, because there are more challenges than successes, I assure you.
You have to confront the challenges in those conversations with your committed partner and not just share the successes.
The emotional investor, that's where when the rubber meets the road on how they can support you and how they do support you. And if they don't, then you're going to know how it's going to pan out for you, with that being a sidebar kind of unfortunate circumstance.
Well, I love that you used rubber and road, and I love that you came up with the expression emotional investor, because I want to introduce our next podcast, which is basically when the Dodge brothers sued Henry Ford. And boy, there's a lot of rubber, road, and emotion in that story. And we'll share that with you next time here on Simple Sense for Small Business, where we share with you
mistakes we've made so you don't have to.
Say goodnight, Linda.
Good night, Linda.
Good night, Trevor. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you the next time.